Welcome everyone. In previous session, we have understood the concept of XPath access. We have seen the theory about XPath access. In today's session, we will see some practicals about XPath access. So if you haven't watched previous session, then please watch the part 1 of XPath access. It will definitely help to understand the concept first, and then in this session we will see the practicals. So let's revise quickly. So what are the XPath access? So XPath access are way to navigate and select elements in XML or HTML document using a specific relationship with other elements. So by using XPath access, we can find elements based on their position or association with some other element. Think of access as different directions or perspective we can use to search for elements. XPath, so using XPath access keywords, so these are basically keywords. We can navigate in DOM structure from top to bottom or bottom to top with the context of some specific element. We can traverse top to bottom or bottom to top with the context of that specific element, and we can find some another element with that context. It is similar to giving direction in real life. We always give direction to an unknown location with respect to well-known location, or we can say as a landmark. Giving direction to your home from a well-known shop, statue or railway station, etc. So it's kind of a similar to that. So instead of jumping to some specific element, what we will do, we will first find out the known element, and with context of that known element, we will try to find out some another elements, and commonly they should be nearby to each other. There are around 13 different access are present in XPath, but we don't have to look each and every access. We will look into subset of useful access which can be used with Selenium, and target element should be closer to known element. We have also seen relationship of nodes. For example, child is, if it's a basic node or context nodes, let's say self is a context node, then immediate child will be there. Self node will have one parent node. Child and children of child are comes under descendant, whereas parent of parent, that is grandparent, and so on, they will come under ancestor. Nodes which are after the self node are known as a following node, excluding the ancestor, and the nodes which are coming before the context node are basically comes under the preceding nodes. We have also seen following sibling are basically the same nodes which are having the same parent and comes under the following criteria, so they are following sibling. And we have also seen preceding sibling which are coming before the self node and having the same parent. So in today's session we will see practical examples. Now let's first start with, in today's session we will focus on following, preceding, following sibling and preceding sibling. So these four XPath access we will see in today's examples. So let's start. So what we will do, we will take create Google account or Gmail account web page for our example. So I am just going to that page. So this is basically sign up link or create Gmail account link. I am just directly copying that link, that is accounts.google.com /sign up. So this is basically creation of Gmail account. So whenever we want to sign up to Gmail, we have to create a new account. So that is the basically one form which we have to fill, which includes some fields like first name, last name, username, password, confirm password, and checkbox. So these are the details which we want to fill. So in this example, we will see how to use XPath access like following, preceding, following sibling, and preceding sibling. So in this example, we have to first consider a self node, right? So we have to first consider a self node. Any node we can consider it as a self node. So in this example, I will consider this username field or username node, or this element I will consider it as a self node or the context node. And what we will do, we will try to find out first name field, last name field by using context of this username, by the context of this self node, that is username node. We will not use any specific attribute for first name and last name. We will just first locate this username, and with the context of this, username field along with the XPath access, we will try to find out first name, last name, password field, confirm password field. All these 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These 5 fields we will locate by using XPath access. So first understand the self or context node. So I am just using inspect element. Self node is, or self axis is basically the same element which we have used as a context node. So even if you don't provide self keyword, it will be also fine. But just for example, I will just show you. So I am just pressing Ctrl F. Here, what I will do, I will write, or I will try to locate this username field. So if you see the tag name, it is input tag. So I will try to write relative XPath. So how to write relative XPath? So first we have to give 2 forward slashes. After that you have to give either the tag name, here input is the tag name, or we can give star as also, that is also fine. But I am here providing input as a tag name, and then we can provide @ID equals to, what is the ID? If you see here, ID is for this username field which we are going to use as a context node. ID is username. Here is the ID, username. So I am just giving that ID here, username. So it is finding that username, right? So we are successfully locating this username field. And I will use the self keyword here. Self keyword for XPath access. It's for the context node or the self node. 1 forward slash. So what is the syntax? We have to provide 1 forward slash. After that we can write self. Then 2 times we have to provide colon. 2 times we have to provide colon. And after that the tag name. So here, what is the tag name? Input is the tag name. So it will highlight that element. So it is optional. Even if you don't provide this self and input keyword here, even if you don't provide this, I am just removing it, then also it will find that element, because context node or the self keyword is used for the same node which we are using as a context node. So if I put this forward slash self 2 times colon and the tag name, it will find the same element. So this is about self node. So self node is the context node itself, and this is the syntax. In our script we will use, so I am just going to PyCharm. Let's open the PyCharm. I am just creating a new Python file. Let's create new Python file. XPath access demo. So I have created one Python file. I will just add the code from our previous session, which would be similar up to opening the URL of create Google account web page. So what I will do, I will just copy the code from our previous examples. I am just pasting it here. So here we are importing various packages. Then we are creating Chrome options, which we pass to the driver instance which we have created for Chrome class. Here we are passing that options, Chrome options, along with experimental option detach as a true, so that our browser does not get closed after successful execution of the script. We are also passing service class object, in which we have passed the path of our Chrome driver, which will be executing or invoking the browser. And then we are creating a driver instance for this Chrome class, and then driver.get will open the URL. It will open, so I have already pasted it here. It will open, so this link will open our create Google account or create Gmail account web page. After that, what we will do, we have to find that. So I will use first example, that is self. We will use first keyword as a self keyword for XPath access. This is the context node itself. So what we will do, we will first driver dot find element by dot XPath, comma, then you have to provide the value. So I am just copying that value from this XPath which we have created by using self keyword. So let's paste that value here, and after locating that element we have to pass some value in that, right? So I am just using dot send keys method, and let's pass username as value there. We will execute script in some time. So it will locate the username field and it will pass the username here by using self. So this is the example for self XPath access. It is context node itself. Now the next one, that is following XPath access. So following is used when it will find all elements in the document that occur after the context node. Descendants of the context node are not included. Excluding the descendants, whatever nodes are coming after the context node will be located by using following XPath access. Now in this example, what I want to do, so this is our Google form. We are successfully locating this username field, right? We are using username field as a context node, and by using its context I am going to locate password and confirm password. If you see, password and confirm password, both of these input fields are coming after this username field. So by using following XPath access, we can find out them, or we can locate them, because they are coming after this username field. So how to do that? I will just show you. So first we have to locate this username field. So first we have to locate this username field. So I have already done it here, right? So it will find this XPath will find this username field. If you see, this is highlighting the username field. Now by using this context of this username field, without using any attribute from password and confirm, we can still locate them by using XPath access following keyword. So what is the syntax here? Again, the one /. After that we have to use following keyword. After that 2 times colon and the tag name. So which tags we want to find out after this username field. So let's check what is this is basically user password and confirm password are input fields. So for input fields, tag is always input tag. So if you see, tag name is input. So I want to find out, or I want to locate the elements having input tag. I want to locate elements which are present after this username field and having input tag. So what I will do, I will just give input as a value here. If you see, it is locating 3 elements. If you see, first one is this password field, second one is this confirm password field, and third one is show password checkbox. So this is also input checkbox. So these 3 fields are now getting located. So we are using following keyword, which will find the nodes or the elements which are coming after this username field and having input as a tag. If you don't provide this input tag, and if you want to check all the elements, all the tag coming after this username field, then you can provide star as well. If you provide star, if you see, it is showing 415. It is showing all the elements that are coming after this username field. But I want to specifically find out input. That's why I am using input. So it will locate 3 elements. Now, out of these 3 elements, I want to first find password, and then I have to pass send key, value here to password field. Then I will locate confirm password and I will pass value here. After that, I will check this show password. Now I want first one, right? So what is the index here? So first index. So first one is password. So we can simply provide by using 2 square brackets. Inside that I have to put value as 1. So it will only find first element, that is password. If you put 2, it will locate confirm password. If you put 3, it will locate show password checkbox. So I am just copying this XPath and we will use it in our script. So now I am going to show you, we are using following XPath access. Again, we are simply going to find driver dot find element by dot XPath. We have to provide value here. Here we have to mention it as a 1 because first we are going to pass value to password field. Then here dot send keys. Let's say I am passing it as a password. Next one is, I am just copying it. Next one is confirm password field. For that, only thing we have to change is instead of 1, it should be 2, right? And it will be confirm password. I am using it just for understanding. And third one will be checkbox, right? So third one is this checkbox. This is also the third one, right? So we have to check it. So I will just click on this show password. So in the script, what we will do, we will simply not pass the send keys, but we will just click on it. And here it should be 3 instead of 1, it should be 3. So up to now these 3 value will be filled. So this is how we can locate by using following keyword. It will locate following elements, those come after this username field and having the input tag 1, 2 and 3. So now let's execute this script. Let's run this file. It is launching the browser and it is passing all the fields, right? If you see, username is passed, password is passed and confirm password is passed. And also this show password button is clicked. So this is the example for following XPath access. So far we have seen self and following. Now what we will do in our next attempt, what are the next step? We will use preceding one. So following is used for the elements which are coming after this context node, whereas preceding will find the elements coming before this context node. That means we can find last name and first name. These 2 input fields we can find by using preceding keyword. So what I will do, Now let's see about preceding keyword or preceding access. Preceding XPath access. So if you see in this example, I want to find out last name and first name field by using preceding keyword. So again, initial part will be same. We have to first locate this username, which is a context node, one forward slash, and after that I have to put keyword as a preceding, 2 times colon, and which tag we want to find out which comes before this username. So last name and first name, and what is the tag name for them? Again it will be input. So I'm just putting that input tag name here. So it is finding 2 elements here. It is finding 2 elements, last name and first name, last name and first name. But here index starts from in reverse way, right? So from username, which is the first field, last name is first one, right? So it is in preceding order. That's why if you put input and in square bracket if you put 1, it will find out last name field, which is the first element in reverse order, right? So from username we are preceding now. So last name will be at first position, and if you put 2 here, it will locate first name which is having input tag, right? So first we have to pass first name and last name. So I will just use this XPath to pass the first name. So just write driver dot find element by dot XPath comma, and we have to provide this XPath. So it will find first name field dot send keys, and we have to pass first name. So I am just using value as a first name, and if you want to find out last name field and pass the value there, what we can do is simply instead of 2 I have to pass 1 here. So that will find last name field, it will pass last name here. Now let's execute this file. All the values got filled, right? So first by using following keyword, password, confirm password and show password get clicked. After that first name and last name values are also filled. So this is how we can use following and preceding keywords. So following will find the nodes which are coming after this context node, whereas preceding are used to find the nodes which are coming before this context node, and we have to pass the tag name. So if you pass the input tag name, it is finding the input fields. Now next one is following sibling and preceding sibling. So far we have seen following, which is basically finding all elements in the document that occur after the context node, and we have also seen preceding to find all nodes in the document that occur before the context node. We have seen the example and syntax as well. Now we will see following sibling and preceding sibling. For that I will use facebook.com. I will use facebook.com create account. So following sibling and preceding sibling, where we will see. So following sibling basically finds all the following nodes in the document that have the same parent as the context node. So first I will just show you that page. So I am on facebook.com. If you see this create new account, right? So I will just click on this create new account, and here again there is a sign up form. Here we will see examples for finding following sibling and preceding sibling. So following sibling are the nodes which are coming after the context node and having the same parent as a context node. Preceding sibling are the node which comes before the context node and having the same parent as a context node. So here if you see date of birth, right, date of birth, there is a day, month and year fields, or drop down we can say. So what I will do, I will first use this May. So I will use May, that is a month one, month drop down as a context node, and by using this context node I will use following sibling. So all these three are having the same parent. By just looking at this you can know that it will be having the same parent. If you see the May month, so this one is for month, this one is for day, and this one is for year. So both these are coming under the select tag, and this is the parent. So parent is same for all these three. Parent is same for all these three fields. So I will use this month one as a context node, and I will find out this year one. Then I will use month one again as a context node, and then by using preceding sibling I will find out date of birth. And by using following sibling I can find out 2023, that is the date one, date of birth. Now let's see in example. Let's first locate this month field. So let's highlight it and write a relative XPath. I will just write a relative XPath for this. 2 times /s. Tag name we can put it here. Select is a tag name. We can use ID here. So what is the ID? For day it's day, for month its ID is a month. So I will just use @ID equals to month. So it is locating our month drop down. And then what I will do, by using month field, so I can locate this year field as well. How to locate that is, you can simply use /following-sibling 2 times quotes, and then if you see again the select tag, so it will locate the year field. Instead of following sibling, if you use preceding sibling, it will find the element which is coming before the context node, that is day field. So this is example for following sibling and preceding sibling. So what I will do, I will just use it in our script as well. I am just going to PyCharm. So this is the Google one, right? So I am just commenting this one. Now we have to open facebook.com, and then we have to click on create new account. So for that, let's copy the XPath. So this is the XPath. I'm just copying it, and let's find it. Driver dot find element by dot XPath. So it will find that button. We can simply create our own XPath as well. So I will just create my own XPath. So if you see, role equals to button, right? So I will just use @role equals to button. So it is finding 3 elements because there are multiple buttons. So instead of this one, let's see. We can also use this data test ID attribute as well. So I'm just using now this data test ID. So in practical examples, we have to just keep exploring the unique XPath creation approach, right? Sometimes it is easily available to create the XPath, but sometimes we have to use some different techniques for that. So I'm just now trying out with data test ID. So if you see data test ID, I'm just copying this value and I'm just putting it here. It is now locating the element correctly. So I can use this as a XPath for this create new account. So I'm just using it here. And then we can click on it. So we have to use .click. So it will click on that create new account button and it will open our form. So let's execute this file. So it is correctly clicking on that create new account button. Now after that we have to use this one as a context node, and we are going to use following sibling to locate this year field and preceding sibling to locate this date of birth field. And this is basically May 1 is a month 1 is a self node. So what I will do, I will write. So first we have to find the self node, that is month 1. So how we can find out? ID is month, right? So I will simply use 2 times forward slashes. After that we can use tag name, which is select @ID equals to month. So it will locate our element. So this is for self node or locating month node. But we want to now locate first date of birth, right? So I will simply use preceding sibling because all these 3 are having the same parent. And this preceding one, so this date of birth for day is coming before this month node. That's why I can use preceding -sibling after 2 times quote and again the tag name. So it will locate our day field or drop down of day. So I am just using this XPath to locate date of birth day field from the date of birth. So let's locate it. So driver dot find element by dot XPath comma, and then you have to pass this value. So by using preceding sibling XPath access, now if you see this statement, we are able to find or we can locate day field by taking context of this month field. So if you see the example, here it is a month field. We have taken the context of this month field and we have used preceding sibling, and we have finding the node which comes before the month node, that is the day 1. So it will locate this day node which is having the select tag because it is a drop down list. So we are now able to locate this element, but Now from this list we have to select one element or select one date. For that we have to use following syntax. So if you want to select the value from drop down list, what we have to do is we have to first use select class. So what is the syntax here is, I am just storing it, let's say days equal to, we have to use select class, and inside that select class we have to pass this locator. So here we are finding this locator, or we are finding that drop down list of days. So we are passing that locator here, we are finding that location, we are passing it to select class. And then so we have to import select class as well. So if you don't see it, so if you don't import it earlier, it will highlight it, and we have to just import it. So it will import the select class, we have stored it in a days. And after that what we can do is, for selecting from a drop down list, if you see the code here, inspect element, if you click on it, this is the select class, and inside this select class there will be values for all the days, right? So if you see, option is a tag name here, after that value is a attribute, and value is having 1 2 3 4 up to 31 or 30, whatever the values are there. And here it is a text which is displayed in this drop down. If you see, value is 1 and the display text is also 1. Value is 1 and display text is also 1. So we can use values, or we can use this text as well, display text as well. So for that what we have to do here, we can simply write days dot select by value or visible text. If you select by value, then we can pass that value. If you select visible text, then we have to pass visible text. Anything we can use. So I am just selecting by value. In this, let's say I am passing the value as 10. So it will select day 10 from that drop down list. And now we have selected days here. Next one we have to select is month, right? So we have selected date, it will select date as 10. After that we have to select month. So now let's locate the month. So month is basically context node only. So for this month we can use self node, or it's fine if you don't use that self node as well. So I will simply skip that using self node. I will just copy this XPath which will select the drop down of the month field. So what is the syntax again? So I will just create month equals to select class. In this we have to pass driver dot find element by dot XPath, comma, and we have to pass this. So it will locate the drop down list element from the form, and then by using month dot, now here if you see, we can select value as well as text. So if you see, I am just expanding it, HTML code for that. So if you see, value for month is in 1 2 3 4 5 format. So for January, and this is the visible text. So if you want to use value, we have to pass like 1 2 3 4 5. If you want to use visible text, then we can pass Jan, Feb, March as well. So again I will show you by using select value by visible text. Now when we select visible text, we have to pass the exact text. So for let's say February, it is FEB. So what I will do, I will pass FEB. So in double quotes, what we can pass, FEB. So it will select February month from the drop down list. Now so far we have selected and located and selected day, located and selected month. Next one is, I will show you by using following sibling. So we have seen preceding sibling XPath access, now following sibling. So it will select. So first again we have to use year equals to select class. In this we have to pass driver dot find element by dot XPath comma and value of XPath. So now we will use this month field as a context node. Here we are already located it, and after that what is the syntax for following sibling is we have to use following hyphen sibling 2 times colon and select. So it will select this year drop down because it is coming after this context node and having the same parent as this context node. So I will just taking it, copying it, and I am passing it here. And then what we can do, we can again use year dot select by value or visible text. And if you select by value, I will use select by value. So let's expand and check. Value is again we can directly use as a year. So I will just going here in PyCharm. I am passing value as let's say 2020. So it will select day as a 10 February 2020. Now let's execute this file. So we have seen the example of preceding sibling and following sibling here. So we are using month field as a context node, this month drop down as a context node. We are finding year by using following sibling. We are using preceding sibling to find out day drop down. Now let's execute our script and let's check how it runs. So I am just closing it, which was already open earlier. So I will just run the file one more time. So now it will launch the browser. It will click on create new account. Now if you see, some error has occurred. Why error occurred? Because after clicking on create new account, it took some time to open this form. But before that, our script tried to find out that locators for month as well as date of birth, year. So they could not found it. So we have to use, sometimes we have to use some little pause after clicking on some buttons before this form loads. So how we can do that? What we can do, we can simply use time.sleep. So for that again we have to import time. Once you import time, we can use, so after clicking, so here we are clicking on create new button. After that I am just using some pause or some time.sleep, and we have to pass how many seconds we want to. So I am passing let's say 3 seconds. So it will wait for 3 seconds before finding out the element. Now let's execute this file again. So let's execute the file again. Now it will wait for 3 seconds, and now it is able to find those elements and select the values appropriately. So if you see, values are changed to 10 Feb 2020. So we have located this element by using following sibling and preceding sibling. Month is a context node which we have used. So this is all about following, preceding, following sibling and preceding sibling XPath access. So quickly revise one more time. So preceding sibling are all nodes in the document that occur before the context node and have the same parent. This is the syntax which we have used. Following sibling are nodes in the document that occurs after the context node and having the same parent. Preceding are all the nodes in the document that occur before the context node except for ancestors. Followings are all elements in the document that occur after the context node, excluding the descendant, and this is the syntax which we can use. In coming session we will see about child, parent, ancestor and descendant node examples and how to use them practically. So thank you for watching this video. Kindly subscribe and share this